everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen and today I'm bringing to you the books that my Booktube friends pick for me, well, via prompts. So I asked 4 of my Booktube friends to pick some prompts for me and then I tried to find books related to those prompts. I was going to go to Bookcycle in Lee to pick them out and then that's not opened yet and I don't know when it's going to go open. So I went to some charity shops, I went to the library. And then obviously I've got the ones on my shelves as well. So I'm just going to see what I can come up with. I might pick multiple for each or I might just pick one. I haven't decided yet. But the first one was Sam from Griff Reads and I asked her to pick a book. She asked me to pick a book that I'd never heard of before, but the blurb sounds interesting. So when I went to the library, I found this one called Modern Lovers by Emma Straub. And I just thought it sounded interesting. So it says, neighbours and nosiness, the excitement of youth and the shock of middle age all come together in this wise, funny novel about family and food, friendship and music. Former college friends Elizabeth, Andrew and Zoe have watched one another marry, set up home and start families, all while trying to hold on to the identities of their youth. Now 2 decades later they live within shouting distance in the same Brooklyn neighbourhood and the trappings of the adult world seem to have arrived with ease. But nothing engages them like suddenly having to pass the torch of sexuality, independence, and the ineffable alchemy of cool to their own teenage offspring. And the summer that their children reach maturity and start sleeping together, the fabric of the adult life suddenly begins to unravel. The secrets and revelations that finally let loose can never be reclaimed. So I thought that sounded interesting. I've never read anything by this author before. She wrote The Vacationers, and I'd never heard of that. And this book was published in 2016. So I'm going to give that one a go. I really like the colours of that cover. So thanks, Sam. This is the choice for that. I couldn't pick one off my shelves because they're all books that I've heard of. So then I went with a prompt from Ellie from Earl Grey Books. She wanted me to pick a book set in Australia or by an Australian author that I haven't read before. So I've got a couple of options for this. The first one that I picked up from the library was The Best of Adam Sharp by Graham Simpson. I think, yeah, he wrote The Rosie Project, and there's another Rosie one, isn't it? The Rosie Effect. This one says, can you define your life by a single song? Adam Sharp, former pianist in a hip Melbourne bar, now a respectable IT consultant in Norwich can. And it's you're going to lose that girl. On the cusp of 50 and a happy introvert, Adam is perfectly content. He's the music expert at his local pub quiz, and he and his partner Claire rumble along. Life may not be rock and roll, but neither is it easy listening. Yet something has always felt off key, and that's his nostalgia for what might have been his blazing affair more than 20 years ago on the other side of the world with Angelina Brown, a smart and sexy, strong-willed actress who taught him for the first time what it meant to find and then lose love. How different might his life have been if he hadn't let her walk away? Then out of nowhere, Angelina gets in touch. Adam has sung about second chances, but does he have the courage to believe in them? So it definitely fits the prompt because it's set in Australia, in Melbourne. And Graham, the author, lives in Australia. So that definitely fits the prompt. So there's that one. However, for Eurovision-a-thon for the last 3 years, I've always had the same book planned. Let me find it. I have always had Sari by Sue Dharmapala on my list. Who was it who put this on the... I saw it on their channel. I'll put a thing up here. I can't remember her name now. I'm terrible. But she talked about this and I thought it sounded really interesting. Then it came and it was massive. It says 6 lives, 6 loves and a precious cloth that binds them together. It's, let's see how many pages it is to start. 580 pages, which is a big one for me. And it was published in 2014. So quite a bit of it is in Sri Lanka, India, and then the last 2 chapters are in 1997 and 2010 in Melbourne. So it says, Neela wasn't born beautiful or powerful or rich, but she has a rare talent to transform lives. She's a seamstress, and as she works, she weaves into the sari silk a pattern of love, hope, and devotion, which will prove to be invaluable to more lives than just her own. From the lush beauty of Sri Lanka, ravaged by bloody civil war, to mystical India and finally its eventual resting place in Australia, this is the story of one precious piece of cloth and the lives it changes. Neela must find peace, Mahinda yearns for his true calling, Pilar is haunted by a terrible choice, Sarojini doubts her ability to love, Madhav is a holy fraud, and Marion witnesses the very meaning of love. 6 lives, 6 loves, one amazing story. So there you go. So there's 2 options there that I might read. I really should go with this one because I've had it for ages. Then Anna from Booktubers Alley asked me to pick an atmospheric book, and this took me ages because I feel like what I was looking and thinking, well, what is classed as an atmospheric book? You know, most of them have an atmosphere of some kind, and then I was thinking maybe a thriller or a mystery. I spent ages in the bookshop thinking, could that count? Could that count? But this one actually says, one of the little comments on the book says, gorgeous escapism with stacks of atmosphere, and I thought that will do for me. So it's called The Venetian Game by Philip Gwyn Jones. It says City of Secrets, Shadow and Death, and it says a game of cross and double cross in Venice, one of the most beautiful cities on earth. From his office on the street of the assassins, Nathan Sutherland enjoys a steady but unexciting life, translating Italian DIY manuals. All this changes dramatically when he is offered a large sum of money to look after a small package containing an extremely valuable antique prayer book illustrated by a Venetian master. But is it a stolen masterpiece or a brilliant fake? Unknown to Nathan, from a vast mansion on the Grand Canal, twin brothers Domenico and Arcangelo Moro, motivated by nothing more than mutual hatred, have been playing out a complex game of art theft for 20 years, and now Nathan finds himself unwittingly drawn into their deadly business. So atmosphere aplenty in that one. That one is another one that could be used for your Revisionathon. So at least I've got another option to recommend to people in future. And then for Mel, she asked me to pick a book. Mel from A Book Fiend named Mel asked me to pick a book that's set in a place that you've never been. I held this up in a reading vlog, read the back of it, and then spent ages saying about where it was set, and I'm thinking, duh. So yeah, Malibu Rising. I won't tell you what this is about. I've already read it out in the vlog. I'm sure everybody's heard about it, but it is set in Malibu. And so I really enjoyed The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Not as keen on Daisy Jones and the Six, but it was still good. So yeah, I'm hoping to read this one, and then obviously the Carrie Soto one, and then there's a few others, I think really past ones, because I would like to read all of hers because I have enjoyed them so far. So there you go. I mean, to be honest, on here there's quite a few that are set in places I've never been, so I'm not stuck for that one, and if there's one that pulls me at the time, I may choose that instead. Atmospheric book, there's also Malice, which is the group book for the Royal Readathon, the villain side of things, so that's also an option for me as well. So thank you to Sam from Griff Reads, Ellie from Earl Grey Books, Anna from A Book Dreamer's Alley, and Mel from A Book Fiend Named Mel. I am excited to try these books. I will probably try and fit them into October TBR. So thanks for watching, and I will speak soon. Bye.